Hi, my name is Mr. Chon and welcome to my study room. Today I'll be solving objective questions 6, 14, 26, 28, 46 and 47 of the 2023 WASSCE General Mathematics paper written by Ghana. I decided to put these questions together because I feel like they are all under the same topic and have the same concept. So when we solve them together, it deepens our understanding of the concept. Let's get on straight to question 6, which reads that Abudu can do a piece of work in 6 days and Efa can do the same work in 3 days. What fraction of work can both do together in a day? We'll start by letting the piece of work be x because we don't know what the value of the piece of work is. So let's let the piece of work be x. But even before we do that, let's underline the key fact, which is the fact that Abudu can do that piece of work in 6 days. Efa can do the same thing in 3 days. And then the last part I would like to talk about is what both of them can do together, or the fraction both of them can do together in a day. Now let's let the total piece of work be x. And then Abudu can do the piece of work in 6 days. So let me say 6 days for Abudu equals this piece of work. So if you want to do 1 day, how much of the work will we do? We will divide both sides by 6. So 1 day will be equal to 1 over 6x, which is the same as x over 6. Then we move to Efa. And then Efa can also do the same piece of work in 3 days. So 3 days equals the piece of work. So in 1 day, which is dividing both sides by 3, you'll be doing 1/3 of the work, which is the same as x over 3 of the work. Now, what we need to do is that together, how much would they be doing in 1 day? So Abudu will be doing this in a day, Efa will be doing this in a day. So together, in a day, they will be doing 1/6 of the work plus 1/3 of the work, which when we add together, the LCM is 6. 6 will go into 6, 1 times x is x. 3 will go into 6 twice, times x is 2x. And then when we add the two of them, we're going to get 3x over 6. 3 goes here 1, goes here 2. So that gives us 1/2 x. And you know that x is the total number of the work. So if the question is what fraction of the work are we talking about, then it will be 1/2 of the work. So that means the correct answer for this question is D. Both of them will do 1/2 of the work in a day. Let's move on to the next question. Question 14 says that the ratio of girls to boys in a certain committee is 5:2. If there are 35 members in the committee, how many more boys must be added to the committee to have the ratio of girls to boys as 5:4? There are certain key facts that we need to underline in this question. First of all, we're talking about ratio, and then the ratio of boys means that girls represent 5 parts of the total ratio, while boys represent 2 parts of the total ratio. If there are 35 members in the committee, that means the total ratio will be equal to 35. Then how many more? So how many more? This is the thing. How many more boys must be added to the committee to have this ratio? Now let's break it down by first writing out this key fact. So we start with the total ratio. Or let me just write the ratio first. So girls to boys. Let me use G to represent girls, and then B to represent boys. Is 5:2. Then we have total ratio is going to be 5 plus 2, which is 7. Then now let's find the number of girls. This is just a ratio. So number of girls is going to be the portion of girls, which is 5, over the total ratio 7 times the total number of members, so 35. 7 goes here, 1 goes here, 5. 5 is 25. So we have 25 girls. and then the number of boys will be the total, which is 35 minus 25, and that will be 10. We can also do 2/7 times 35 to give us the same thing. Now, I want to solve this in two ways. The first method I want to use to solve this is, they say how many more boys do we need to add to the committee to have the ratio to be 5-4. Ratio is the same as fraction, right? So we can have 5-4 to be written as 5/4. So we know the number of girls to be 25. So what number do we need to put here below the 25, or to divide the 25 so that the reduced form will be 5/4? I'm sure you tell me it's 20, right? Because 5 divides here 5 times, and then 5 will go into 24 times. Then we have 5/4, like that. So if that is it, then how many more boys? We already know that we have 10 boys. So how many more boys do we add to the 10 boys to make it 20 so that the ratio will be true? That is 10 boys. When we add 10 to this 10, the denominator will be 20. So we will say that therefore we will need to add 10 more boys. And that is option A. That is the first approach, which I will call maybe the common sense approach. I didn't do any serious mathematical calculation. I just put the ratio and then I found an equivalent fraction to that. Then the second method, that is going to be more mathematical, and in that we'll let the number of boys to be added be x. So if that is the case, then it means that the number of girls over the number of boys after we add will be equal to this ratio. So that will be 25 over, we have 10 boys already, plus how many boys will be added will be equal to 5/4, since ratio is a fraction. By cross multiplication, we're going to have 25 times 4 to be equal to 5 multiplying 10 plus x. Solving further, we're going to have 100 to be equal to 50 plus 5x. Subtracting 50 from both sides, we have 100 minus 50 equal to 5x. And 100 minus 50 is 50 equals 5x. Dividing both sides by 5, x will be equal to 10. So this is more mathematical, and then that is the same as option A. So any of them that easily comes to you, you can use that in solving this. Therefore, we move on to the next question, which is question 26. Question 26 says that Yakubu received 12.5% of the sales made in a certain month. If the amount he received was $35,000, what was the total sales made? Simply put, this question involves a certain amount of money made as sales, which we don't know, so we can let that be x. So let the total sales be x, or x be the total sales. So clearly we're going to use ratio and proportion to solve this question. And the question clearly says that 12.5% of that total sales is $35,000. So by using ratio and proportion, we're going to represent the two of them, which 12.5 is the same as 12.5. So I will have 12.5% being equals $35,000. So total sales is going to be 100%, right? 100% to be equal to x in dollars, right? So we're going to use proportion to solve this. And the question we keep asking is that if 12.5% of the sales is $35,000, then will 100% of the sales be more or less? Will it be more than $35,000 or less? I'm sure your answer is to be more. So if more, then the less of these two will be dividing. So it's going to be 100 divided by 12.5. If more, let's divide, or if less, more, divide. So let's write that. So we have 100 divided by 12.5. The percentage doesn't really matter because it will cancel out, times the one standing alone. So let me put x here equals 100 divided by 12.5 times the one standing alone, which is 35,000. If you like, you can bring the dollar sign at once. And when we plug this into our calculator, we are going to have $280,000. And then that is option C. As simple as that. So this is purely proportion question. We move on to the next question. Question 28 says that if x to y to z equals 2 to 3 to 4, evaluate 9x plus 3y all over 6z minus 2y. Looking at this ratio or this equation, that simply means that the value of x is 2, that of y is 3, and then that of z is 4. And then we are just going to substitute that into this expression, and then it gives us the answer. So let's work that quickly. 9x plus 3y all over 6z minus 2y will be equal to 9 multiplying x is 2 plus 3 multiplying y is 3, then all over 6 multiplying z is 4 minus 2 multiplying y is 3. Then we simplify. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 3 times 3 is 9 all over 6 times 4 is 24 minus 2 times 3 is 6. Simplifying further, we're going to have 18 plus 9 is 27 over 24 minus 6 is 18. 9 divides here 3 and then divides here 2, which when we express in fraction is going to give us 1.5. And then looking through the options, that is option D. We move on to question 46. Question 46 says that a woman bought a washing machine for $18,000. If the exchange rate is $0.045 to 1 naira, find in naira the cost of the machine. The key fact from this is that the cost of the machine in dollars is 18,000, and then the exchange rate is $0.045 to 1 naira. So again, we're just going to express this in proportion and then we solve. So by expressing this as proportion, we're going to write the exchange rate first, and that is $0.045 will be equal to 1 naira. And then if we let the cost of the machine in naira be x, it means that $18,000 will be equal to x. And then we're just going to ask the proportion question again. If $0.045 equal to 1 naira, then $18,000, will it be more than 1 naira or it will be less? And I'm sure your answer is that it will be more. So if more, the least of these two or the less of these two will divide. So our expression is going to be x equals 18,000 divided by 0.045 times the one standing alone, 1 naira. So basically the main action is here. X will be equal to 18,000 divided by 0.045 to give us 400,000 naira. 400,000. And looking through the options, that is going to be option B, 400,000 naira. We move on to the last question for this study, question 47. Question 47 says that if 4m plus 3n all over 4m minus 3n equals 5 over 2, find the ratio of m to n. So this, we're just going to solve the whole equation algebraically, and then we find the ratio of m to n. So let's do that quickly by first rewriting the equation. So this is two fractions at the either side of the equal to sign. So we are just going to cross multiply. This one comes to multiply this, and this comes to multiply this. Let's do that. So 2 come and multiply 4m plus 3n here equals 5 multiplying 4m minus 3n. By distribution, we're going to have 8m plus 6n to be equal to 20m minus 15n. And then I'll put m at the right hand side and then n at the left side. So adding 15n to both sides and subtracting 8m to both sides, we're going to have 6n plus 15n to be equal to 20m minus 8m. And 6 plus 15 is going to be 21n. And that will be equal to 20 minus 8 is 12m. First of all, let's look at the ratio in the question, m to n. And you know ratio is division, right? So that will be m divided by n. For us to get m divided by n in this, we have to divide both sides by n. So this will be divided by n, this will be divided by n, so that this cancel out this. Then, not to make anything complex, we divide both sides 2 by 12. So this cancel this. We'll have m over n left to be equal to 21 over 12, both of which 3 can divide. So 3 goes here, 7 goes here, 4. So m divided by n can be written as 7 divided by 4. And to express this as a ratio, it will be m to n being equal to 7 to 4, which is option A. And this is where we bring today's lesson to an end. I hope this lesson has been of help to you. If yes, then kindly consider subscribing to this channel for more videos like this. Till we meet again in my study room. Bye bye.